I'm going to be reacting to Inside the Hateful and Lonely World of Incel Men, Uncovering Incels. This is an idea that's been bouncing around for a while as to why incels not only seem to be growing more rampant, but also becoming more aggressive and things of that nature. And it is something it's curious to me too, because I really do think it's a part of civilization in the way that we've just come to this point now as a society, as a bunch of societies with social media and things like that. It really can skew perception on things and kind of make you almost resentful to others in a way because you see everything that other people have and you're like, well, I don't have that and I can never get that. So it not only can cause you to quit, but then it can also cause you to ball up, which in turn leads to incels like this. And some of them do very unsavory things to women and things of that nature. So I kind of wanted to see what this video had to say on the topic and then give my 2 cents on it.
We've been investigating the hidden online world of incels.
I have not interacted with a female that is not related to me in over 3 years.
They're mostly young men, usually virgins, who can't find a romantic or sexual partner.
I must become more attractive. It's my last chance.
But on the extreme end, some incels are becoming more menacing.
There was quite a few women that I did want to break their nose so they would be ugly.
Where staunch incels blame women and attractive men for the reason why they're not in a relationship.
Around 60 terror attacks that can be linked to incel actors.
We wanted to know who these incels were, what they believed in, and just how extreme it could get. In this 2-part investigation, we gain access to a world that is usually closed off, especially to women.
And yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm sure that it's majority, like 90% plus, probably more than that. Incels are all pretty much guys. And so it definitely skews in that direction, which of course means that they're more resentful to women. And I think that's what she was referring to in terms of being a world that women don't really have a lot of access to, because the incels don't know how to interact and they resent them to a certain point, which is unfortunate. I think this really comes about because I don't know what the parenting situation is like at home, but it really seems to me that it's a lack of parenting. I mean, parents should be proponents of going out and meeting new people, showing their kids how to do that, how to interact properly with people and not just do whatever they want, which unfortunately I think some of this is them picking up on that. So I'd be interested to see what the studies show in terms of what the parenting situation looks like in all of these homes for these incels. And I'm interested to see if they'll touch on what they think they'll be able to do to kind of help guys like this.
Before we start this story, we want to let you know that it contains violent and distressing content, including references to sexual violence and racist slurs. We're on our way to meet 5 incels who we've been chatting to online for about a month now. They usually chat to each other in forums and in servers, but today they're meeting up. And they're letting us join. One of them, who we'll call Tom, is well known in the community for building a server, which is kind of like an online chat room. He's agreed to meet us first at a hotel.
There is most likely not a single female on the planet that would be willing to date me.
How do you define?
And see, I think that's kind of where all of these guys start to fall behind, is that social media and things of that nature have just grown to the point where all you see is like the very, very best of men and women. And it just can be soul crushing because you're like, well, I can never reach that level, so why try? And I really believe that's a majority of the reason why these kids are struggling so much with this need to be an incel and to blame women that their lives are tough. And I really do believe that a strong father figure would have been best for these kids because it would allow them to see how to interact with women, the husband and wife, and also with other people and things of that nature. I really do believe that strong parenting would erase 95% plus of the reasons that there's so many kids that are incels today. I really do believe that.
What an incel is.
An incel is someone who is unable to get into a romantic relationship.
He's nervous to be on camera and has brought a mask with him to protect his identity.
Being an incel has become quite sensationalist. I am worried that openly identifying as such in public might affect job prospects.
What do you think when you see a woman on the street?
I don't feel like I live in the same society as her. And I think that every woman who encounters me on the street is inherently disgusted by me. I'm physically unattractive, I'm visibly autistic, and I have no experience speaking to females.
Tom casually browsed forums a few years ago in high school. Now he feels so connected to the incel philosophy that he built his own chat room.
Sometimes,
I think that's part of the problem too, is that while I do think it could be good and fun even to build these online communities of guys, you could see how it can be kind of destructive in a way too, because now it's a bunch of these guys who all think the same way, getting together to discuss topics that they all agree on without ever really trying to step back and say, hey, what could we do differently to change ourselves to be better, instead of looking at it from the opposite way, like, well, there's no way women would ever appreciate us no matter what. It's like, well, what could I do to make myself better to then become a better prospect for women? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, women know when you're putting in effort. I mean, it really does show. So as long as you're not being an absolute creep, you have a goal and you're striving for it, and you're on your way. I think obviously not all of them, and every woman has their own type, but there are women out there who would appreciate that in you. And so I do believe that it's good to have these communities, but it's also can be very damaging when it's all you ever do is just spend all of your time talking to guys who are in the same situation and who aren't trying to find a way out.
Incels can say some edgy statements.
Can you give examples?
An edgy statement would be something like, I hate all women, all women, every woman is evil. Sometimes a small minority of users, when they're lashing out in anger, might make jokes about sexual violence. I wouldn't paint the server as something too serious. A lot of this is just people just having like fun social interaction, fun banter.
In the 20 minutes we spent looking at the chat, we saw...
And see, that can be part of the problem too, is that yes, it is the internet and a lot of people do like to banter. But then when you have people that have already have a kind of warped, twisted view on things, when they hear people making these jokes, well, not all of them obviously, there's going to be a few even in a smaller community like that who kind of take it to heart and start maybe acting out on some of these jokes that are a little too far, I would say. So it's definitely a dangerous game when you're already a part of a community that already holds these extreme views, and then you are making these even more extreme jokes, which some people will take literally and then act upon them. So that's another reason why it's good to moderate yourself when you're in these online communities like that.
saw Nazi symbols, racial slurs, and unsurprisingly, hate towards women.
This is an example of an incel and a female beefing with each other. The female said, "Y'all are boring," and this incel responded in anger.
You want to read the message?
No. This server has been taken down around 10 times, but those takedowns have not really had a dent on its popularity.
It's hard to know how many incels exist, especially when they connect in private servers like this one. On the most popular forum, there are millions of visits each year. By some estimates, at the very least, there are thousands of dedicated members worldwide.
Yeah, that is that. I mean, it makes sense, and it just, like I said, it just seems to be growing even more day by day because there's less strong parenting. It seems like nowadays there's more of a call to just be online at all times with no interaction in real life, and even the interaction online isn't like through video or anything like that. It's just through texting and things of that nature. So it's just so dangerous when you just remove yourself so far from society to the point that you cease to have that part of humanity that you need to have, which is community and serving others and things of that nature.
I do blame women to a significant extent for why we have so many men single, depressed, lonely. There may be definitely elements of misogyny in the community. It's only reactive to being unable to uh, get with females. It would probably dissipate if a female showed interest in them. What board are you browsing? G.
We later catch up with the rest of the group in the park.
Hello, female.
They're in their late teens and early 20s. Most of them haven't given us their real names. After a month of speaking online, they've agreed to meet with us in person to explain a bit more about who they are. They agree to chat over lunch on the condition that their faces are blurred.
Is anyone here dating?
No.
No.
Definitely. I wouldn't be here.
No.
If you're dating, then you're not an incel. So.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
It's that hard line?
If you can date, chances are you can have sex.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make you an incel.
Like if you talk.
I mean, yeah, I obviously, I mean, they're the ones giving the definition here, so I mean, maybe that's the definition of an incel is basically just somebody who doesn't have sexual relations with a woman. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, to them it seems to be what makes or breaks you being an incel is being able to have a steady relationship with a woman. So I really don't know what else to say.
Talking about going on dates, I think you can go on dates and be incel.
I'm more hardline in my definition.
Some allude to a common incel belief. They call it the black pill. It's the idea that women will only ever go for physically attractive men, that they've lost the genetic lottery, and their situation is hopeless.
Do your parents know that you're an incel?
No. My dad's like asked me when am I going to get a girlfriend or whatever. I feel like my mum knows I'm a loser.
Are you all at uni at the moment?
No, I'm working.
No, I'm at uni.
I'm studying, kind of, yeah.
It's mostly just STEM subjects.
Yeah, no incels doing like social work or something.
And why do you think it's those kind of jobs?
You don't have to talk to people, you can just focus on ideas and stuff.
Yeah, I said I haven't spoken to an IRL void in 3 years. And that's partially because I do a STEM degree. Like, I've never been paired with a female. Thank f***. If I did, I'd probably just walk out.
I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, see, they kind of just reinforced what I said. They're finding these jobs where there's just no social interaction, and it's just not. It's not conducive to a healthy life. I mean, there has to be interactions with people, whether you like it or not. I mean, even somebody who's a little more introverted like myself, I realize and understand the importance of being around other people, being able to help them, just being able to listen to them and things of that nature. I really can't stress it enough how important it is to be able to communicate with all people, and in their case, women. I mean, I think there's kind of a cognitive disconnect in a way where they almost put women in a separate field than men, and it's like, well, we're all human beings in the same way. I mean, obviously women are definitely a lot different than guys, but you could still approach it in the same way. And so, like I said, they mentioned their parents, and it sounds like the parents aren't even really involved because they don't even know that their kids are like this. So it's very, very unfortunate.
To know what direction the incel movement was headed in. So I sat down with a researcher who spent 18 months looking at the largest incel forum on the internet.
We gathered over 1 million posts from just over a year of activity on the forum.
He found the number of visits were growing slowly and posts were getting more extreme. We asked him to read some out.
So this one is called Women Peak at 12. Who in their right mind would prefer a 22-year-old roastie to this? And they've got an image of a 12-year-old child. National Socialist Germany was the best country for incels. Women are designed to be raped. Males have a sufficient strength advantage, and this was probably our main method of procreating. It's all designed to make women seem like they're subhuman.
In the most
Yeah, see, that's why it's just so dangerous, because then you have these guys who are just so far gone, influencing these kids that just don't know. It blows my mind how, I mean, evil. I mean, there's no other way to say it, that some guys can be, and it leads all these kids who are still more suggestive to things in that nature, and they read comments like this online, and they're like, "Oh, he's part of my group. He must know what's going on, so I must be able to follow his advice." And then you read comments like that, and it's like, that's a scary place to be. Scary place to be.
popular forum, about half of its members are Americans and Brits, but there are also Australians in there too. The group we've spoken to have never expressed any of these thoughts to us. Callum says that people who end up in these spaces tend to be unemployed, have mental health vulnerabilities, and are insecure about their looks.
Many users claim to be neurodivergent. Unfortunately, the answers they're getting are that women are to blame for all this, and it just sort of breeds this toxic, violent rage towards women that's really dangerous.
But not all incels hate women and subscribe to the extreme end of things. Some go to great lengths to attract them.
I am making some gains.
For Raymond, he's hoping the gym is the answer. In YouTube videos, he talks about his journey to self-improvement, and so far he's had 500,000 views.
Hey guys, what's up? Decline here. I am 30 and still alone.
See, I respect guys like this who, I mean, it kind of looks like, I'm not sure if, I don't want to say anything as to whether he has any brain defects or anything like that, but he does seem just a little bit slower from what I've seen. Maybe that's just because he grew up that way. But I mean, I respect the hell out of people who put in the effort and try. I mean, what else can we do but try? And there's definitely just something to be said about not blaming others for your circumstances, but putting the blame on yourself to then see in what way you can try and improve yourself. I really give this guy props.
We're about an hour out of Melbourne and meet Raymond as he heads to the gym.
I go to the gym 6 days a week. I want to build a good amount of muscle and get lean and shredded. It seems that a lot of people have been successful with that. I still haven't had a successful one-on-one encounter with a girl.
Why do you think you've not had much success with women?
Firstly, I'm a very small guy. Like 6 foot guys are a lot more successful. I don't know how to talk to women or anyone.
Up until now, most of the incels that we'd spoken to were virgins. But that's not the case with Raymond.
It has been some time since I had any sexual encounter that was not paid. I met some couples for threesomes, MMF threesomes, and I found them not really fulfilling.
Yeah, so the first point is that, yeah, these guys get caught up in the state of I'm not as good looking as other guys. And I myself have felt like that in the past too. And it's like, yeah, no, you're right. You're not as good looking as other guys, but you don't have to be, because you're not even really competing with them, I would say. If you guys kind of understand what I'm saying, cuz there's different levels, I think, to people's attractiveness, and they attract other people of like kind type deal. I mean, obviously for men it's more of being successful and things like that. And then there's also, of course, the ultra attractive guys. But looks aren't everything. They definitely help. It's definitely better to be in shape and things of that nature. But you really just can't fall for the, well, I'm not 6 foot, so I should just give up, because I mean, I'm not 6 foot. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, okay? I'm here to tell you. It doesn't matter. Would it matter to some people? Sure. But does it matter to women? Sure. Does it matter to all women? Absolutely not. So definitely don't allow yourself to get twisted and fall into the trap of you're not attractive enough. Because there are some ways that you can increase your attractiveness. Obviously, not to the point of some people who are just genetically gifted, but like I said, don't think that you can't find love, because you definitely can.
Everybody has those same desires to want to feel desired and wanted and loved. I don't subscribe to a lot of the common views of, say, black pill incels. Like, not everything is determined by your genes. These groups, I feel, have kind of hijacked the term.
Raymond is hoping to have changed his luck with women by his mid-30s.
If I haven't succeeded, I'll probably start focusing on other things, maybe just enjoying my life and just rotting, as they say. I'll go back to my video games, start watching anime again, and maybe get a job.
Tom says he's no longer involved in running the server, but he's still given up on the idea of ever being in a relationship.
I'm rather content now. It's just sort of like a huge gaping hole in your life and fitting into society, I guess. Having bleak views affects my mental health and many other incels' mental health by making us much less caring about our future prospects, the community.
That's exactly what I was saying, and what I was thinking is that it's just being bombarded with all this negativity. It's like, almost what other choice do you have but to get into it when you hear nothing but negative comments about women and all the things that are wrong with everything in your life and things like that. That's why I don't want to be the guy who kind of abuses the meme, but go outside and touch grass. There really is something to be said about just getting out of your own head. I'm saying this from a guy who's done the same in the past. Get out of your own head and just start focusing on ways that you can build yourself up to be the best version of yourself. And other people will see that and will be attracted to that. I really do believe that if you're on your mission, people will notice and they will like you more for it.
Is really the only reason why I stay, and as the situation for young men continues to get worse, it is inevitable that subgroups like incels will grow.
In the next part of our investigation, we look at how much of this online hate can spill out into the real world.
A man obsessed with guns.
With an online history of misogyny.
Killed his mother and 4 others.
Having all these violent fantasies, constantly thinking about it, rape, violence, murder.
And their only goal with me was to acquire some kind of sexual encounter.
Yeah, it's a very, very unfortunate place that we're in society. I do hope that we are able to find a way to redeem, in a way, a lot of the young men who have fallen into the incel trap. I would love to be able to show them that there is more to life than just the pursuit of women and things of that nature. And really, in an opposite sort of sense, it's like if you are on a mission to accomplish something, doing that is a much more productive way to attract women than just going out to attract women and that being your main goal in life. Because women, I really do believe, want a guy who is able to provide and is good looking. Doesn't have to be like the best looking, obviously. Stays in shape, things like that, can protect and provide, and has a goal in mind, and he's set on getting there. I do believe that a majority of women are looking for that. Obviously, there's extremes on both guys and girls, but I'm saying there's hope. I'm saying there's hope. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a fun video to make. I've seen so many videos on the incels. It's kind of intriguing in a way to see the different perspectives, and I appreciate the people who take the time to go out to understand these guys. I do hope that we are able to find ways to improve young men like this to better themselves and then better society as a whole because of that. It'll be interesting to see where these young guys end up in 5 years' time. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and comment down below what your guys' thoughts are on the whole incel situation. And I hope to see you around. Peace.